Well, hello. How are you? My name is Michelle Moroz. Thank you for joining me. I met this man not too long ago on LinkedIn through a friend of a friend of a friend, and I thought he was just so cool. And I went, I don't even know what I want to talk about. I just want to bring him on. So here is Yuri Kruman, and I wanted him on, so I wanted you all to meet him because, well, one thing, he intrigued me with the fact that he does more than I do. If you go to his LinkedIn page, it's just this monster of things that are all amazing, and it's all him. So please welcome Yuri Kruman.
Michelle, thank you so much for having me on. It's a tremendous pleasure to speak with you.
Well, thank you for joining me and being so spontaneous about it. Because what did I say? Yuri, come on. What are we going to talk about? We're just going to talk. And so I want to ask, the elephant in the room. Where are you from? Where do you live? And what do you do?
I'm a Bond movie villain from Russia. No, I didn't influence the election, I swear. No,
Not yet.
Yeah, that's right. Not yet. No, I'm from Moscow originally. I've been in the States for 28 years, grew up in Kentucky, went to college in Philly, and then kind of came to New York like everyone else.
I didn't go to New York.
Good for you, actually. Right now is not the best time to be here.
No, it's not. So,
Yeah.
so what do you do now? Because that's really what was really intriguing to me. Because I just saw this plethora of accolades and people commenting about how amazing you are and that you help them do this and that you work with millennials. And I saw a couple of your articles. Enlighten us, because my brain is going 15,000 miles right now, maybe Mach 2, and I can't concentrate on what I want to focus on you. So what do you feel like talking about? Tell us.
Well, I make funny T-shirts during the day. No, just kidding.
Side job.
I do HR consulting. I do executive coaching. I write a great bit. This is actually for my book that's coming out in mid-January called "Be Your Own Commander-in-Chief." There's a bunch of other stuff like being a husband, father, mentor, all that good stuff. But yeah, mainly I somehow ended up after 5 other careers in HR consulting, and those are executive coaching, that is tech, that's finance, law, and neuroscience. So I guess plenty to talk about. If you can make sense of that, God bless you.
Which is why I suggest bring him on. We're just going to bring him on because we can just pick on anything. And for those of you who are out there listening, feel free to ask questions because Yuri's like on the ball. He can just talk about anything. Now, you said 5 different, let's see, I told you my dog would bark. 5 different industries that you were in the past. What were they? What was your most enjoyable? And which was the one that you were so glad you got out of?
Oh, that's playing Minesweeper right there. I would say that my most favorite thing about any job, any industry is always the human aspect. Nobody in their right mind, coming from my background, from my experience, one day says, "Hey, I want to end up in HR." Like, are you nuts? Are you crazy? What you drank? Like you drank something, some kind of methanol? What happened to you? But the truth is, in HR, at least in the current iteration of things, HR has really changed. It's not just kind of like making the proverbial trains run on time. It's not just legal and compliance. It's actually, let's look at it this way. It's kind of like helping people by pushing their buttons in the right way. And not I don't mean in a manipulative way. I don't mean in some kind of nefarious way. I just simply mean, you're there to help them be the best version of themselves as humans and as professionals. If you're going to do that effectively, you need to incentivize them correctly. You got to pay them fairly and give them good benefits and give them some training and coaching and just make sure that, they enjoy coming to work and they are able to enter their proverbial zone of genius, which really means they're doing works that they really love, that they're really good at, and where they're adding massive value. So in order to do that, you have to be, you have to be a people person, but you can't just sort of be a fake one. Then unfortunately, that's the reputation that HR often has, that kind of like, they're look like they're walking on thorns. They're too careful. They don't really take the time to get to know who I am or what I want. So my mission, at least at this stage in my life, is to really change that for the better, to create a virtuous cycle of, yeah, I care. I'll happily get to know you and your story. I'll tell you mine. I'll acknowledge, hey, we're living through insane times. Like we're all stressed and anxious, and nobody knows what the hell's going on. I may be in Brooklyn. My clients, where I'm the head of HR, they're in San Francisco. We're just trying to do our best with what we have, right? And ironically, most leaders think, oh, that's weakness. Oh no, that makes you look like, no one's going to listen to you now. Just the opposite. People listen to you more because you're vulnerable, because you're real. You're a real human. You got a family, maybe you got kids. You've been sitting at home with them for 6 months, or you have to balance all these things which you never thought possible. So once you go down to the same level as the people, and it's not down because they're below you, it's because they're in a different stage of life, different stage of career. Go with them, spend time with them, get to know them. Yeah, they'll be more engaged. They'll want to do better work with you because you're human. That's what HR is to me. It's a very different vision than perhaps what most people think about.
Exactly. Well, and that's part of the reason why I connected so well with you. You do at a corporate level what I do with individuals. Be the best version of you. Now let's find what your magic is. Now let's bring that out. Let's expand that. Let's make it bigger. Let's stronger. Let's make you faster, stronger, whatever. And stay in your zone of genius. And I just put your website down there because I want people to look you up and to learn more about you, because you put out some powerful articles about what to look for, how to reach out to millennials, and that kind of thing. Because of your expertise and the years you've been in the different businesses you've been in, you have this breadth of knowledge that you can share so well. And I truly appreciate who and what you are. And please look up Yuri. Go to his yurikruman.com, look him up, see what he does, and then get on here and start asking questions. Because if you're looking for a job, he's the man to be asking questions to, because he knows what he's telling people what to look for in HR, things of that nature, because he's helping transform what HR does.
Yep. So I'm going to be like Oprah. You get a job and you get a job. No, it doesn't quite work that way, but it sounds lovely. Yeah, I mean, as a coach, that's still my core skill set. Even when I go into a corporation, I am the head of HR. I change systems and kind of do the sexy stuff, right? So when you're going to work for a tech company, yeah, more systems, but it's not about systems. That's almost beside the point. There's these buzzwords, digital transformation, and now corporations have been forced to digitally transform, and HR is leading the way. Yeah, that's all great, but the point is, it's still the same principles. You talk about millennials, Gen Zs, Gen X, boomers. We're all humans. We're in different stages of our lives, sure, but we often really want very similar things. When I wrote my book that came out last year, What Millennials Really Want from Work and Life, one of my conclusions was that, okay, millennials maybe want things in a little bit different order, but it's not like we're all in the gig economy, or we all want sriracha on our food. There's a lot of nonsense floating around about millennials now, about Gen Z, because no one gives a damn about millennials anymore. We're past the peak. So everyone needs some kind of listicle, and that explains everything about them. No, it doesn't. Most people want the same things. They want progress. They want to do work that matters. They want to start a family. They want to have their house in the burbs with a 2-car garage and 1.7 kids or whatever it is today. It's all the same stuff. Millennials, and I guess Gen Z's now by proxy as well, we're behind. That's the main thing. We're very impatient because we're behind. We feel like, hey, we've been screwed. Those boomers, they like screwed us over by ruining the economy and then like doing it a second time and whatever. We're not here to blame. I'm just trying to explain. So when you take that back into HR and you say, yeah, I mean, it's not that different whether you're dealing with millennials or Gen Zs. They're just in a different time of their life, in a different stage of their career. And they have certain needs. They have certain lack of context, lack of skills. give them those things. Just show them that you care, and give them what they need, and send them on their way. There will be
Feed them like humans.
shudder. Yeah, feed them like humans and treat them like humans.
Yeah, they're humans.
Yeah,
And that whole generalization thing always gets me because it's like, why we didn't like being generalized. Why would anyone else want to be generalized? So, we can't put people in boxes and say, this is what you are because this. And just like they can't say, you guys ruined our path. You ruined our future because of what you did. It's like, now you can create again because now we've got almost a blank slate. Everything's so messed up.
pretty much, pretty much.
You can reinvent it.
Just give me my social security now. I may be 32, but hey, give it to me now.
Let's say you're a baby. Well, I
Yeah,
wanted to show your book. Is that right? Be your own commander in chief.
that's right. Yep,
Okay.
you see that T-shirt, shamelessly promoting it. Go look at that.
There is no shame in promoting
Such
your
a
book.
such a
So,
millennial.
well, I want to know then. Tell us more about your book. What is this? Because I know you wrote the first book. The second book, Be Your Own Commander in Chief. You've got the swag already. Tell us about the book.
Okay, so the book is an outgrowth of many years of just frankly trying to figure out who the hell am I? What am I meant to do here? Why is it that I got into all sorts of wrong? I mean, I guess I don't know if it's wrong or not. Looking backwards, but wrong industry, wrong role, wrong company, got the wrong boss. Maybe was hanging out with the wrong friends at some point. At a certain point, you kind of like, yeah. Even though I'm from Soviet Russia, and I guess the whole entitlement thing is not exactly the same. I grew up with two scientist parents. I mean, my parents divorced when I was 5, and so I kind of like grew up really with my mom and my sister. So from an early age, it's like you're going to be a scientist, you're going to be a doctor, and I kind of like I bought it. Yeah, okay, math, science. I'm sort of not bad at it, pretty good, I guess. Grandpa's a doctor, grandma's a doctor. I gotta go do that stuff. So I kind of grew up with this narrative that I have to be this and that. It's what I like to call Carnegie Hall syndrome, meaning you're an immigrant, you're Jewish, you come from a place where they hate Jews and repress us. You're an immigrant, you're here, you got to deliver. You got to deliver big time. You know very well what I'm talking about. And at a certain point, you're okay. I'm delivering. I'm getting good grades. Like good boy, congratulations, 4.0 GPA in high school. You went to a nice Ivy League college, but then like things went to hell. Like your grades started sliding. What happened? And it's like I'm in the wrong place. I'm majoring in the wrong stuff. I love neuroscience, but it's not my thing. I'm a humanities guy. I love anthropology. I love all kinds of literature. I mean, all sorts of other things than what I'm supposed to be sort of like obsessed with, and that means no grades for med school. But hey, go do some grad school because like mom is a professor of neuroscience. Come on, like be a colleague, So I started that, and I kind of went through all these stages in life where like I have to grab onto something. Like the next thing, imagine I'm floating in a river and I'm kind of like drowning, and I see a log come forward. Oh, neuroscience. Oh yeah, that's it. So that's familiar. Or like, okay, I got to get out of there because they more or less said you're not a good fit for our program. See you later, buddy. So I go and work as a paralegal. I work in sales for 3 weeks, which was pure hell for an introvert. And then I go and do law school. Oh, good boy, grad degree. Yeah. You're gonna go practice constitutional law before the Supreme Court. This kind of idiotic thinking. And in law school, what am I doing? I'm interning at the New Yorker for a week as a fact checker. I'm working in insurance defense litigation in a firm where they try to fire me on the last day so they wouldn't have to pay me for the last week. I work for a personal injury firm in the Woolworth building where I'm the associate. It's like this guy and associates, and they put me in a commercial in Russian. It was on Russian primetime TV. Like all kinds of bizarre stuff. Like somehow I just end up there. If you're familiar with the Adventures of Augie March, rather, great book. I kind of like felt like that character. Like I'm always getting into bizarre situations, and I'm supposed to figure out what to do. So fast forward X number of years, and I become more observant religiously. I figure out where I actually fit, what my skills are, my zone of genius. I have a family by that point, so I'm kind of like the confluence of many different things. I have this massive debt from law school. living in New York, two kids. I can no longer drink the Kool Aid from startups. That's when I started my company, Master the Talk Consulting, which is coaching. And after doing enough coaching, I figured out, okay, the best people are leaving even best companies to work for. Now I see why, because I talk to them, I feel out what's wrong. They're not aligned. They're not really doing work they care about. How do companies help those best people realign? How do they help them to do their best work? And then the book, Be Your Own Commander in Chief, grew out of all of those different elements. And there are four main pieces to this. It's essentially conversations. Conversations all of us should be having if we're not having them already. The first one is around health. So without health, you're nothing, right? You don't have anything else. It doesn't matter how smart you are or how accomplished. Without health, you're not going to get far. So without being an endurance athlete or some kind of crazy biohacker, how do you ensure that you move regularly, you do exercise, do nutrition in the right way, you sleep well, all those kinds of things that ensure that you're in a good enough state to enter a higher cognitive mindset as much as you can every day so you can do your best work, have the greatest impact on the largest number of people through the channel that you're meant to impact. So, number two is your mind. It's quite a massive subject. It's your worldview. How do you see who you are, where you're going, what it's all for, plus your life skills, meaning, okay, how do I manage finances? How do I manage my career? How do I manage my business, my side hustle, or maybe something bigger, right? How do I manage expectations? How do I process information, right? How do I make decisions properly? Those things that nobody teaches you. Nobody teaches you. Usually not parents. If you're lucky, they might teach you one or two subjects. Not schools, not colleges, not even Ivy League, not even this and that. And where did that all go? Has to come from you adulting and then failing repeatedly. So I did that. I failed in pretty much every element of my life that I could fail in, especially in finances, especially in career. I failed a lot in business as well. I didn't manage people's expectations. I had messed up decision making processes. I was lost. I was just really not clear on who am I, where am I going. So it took a long time, including 6 careers and a lot of stress for my family, to figure out, hey, okay, what are the right mental models? How am I supposed to look at the world, make sense of it, and then do something with that that's productive, constructive within my capabilities, plus intelligence and emotional intelligence, where I can have the greatest focused impact on the largest number of people over however long I'm here. I'm blessed to be here. And that turned out to be coaching. Coaching is still the key piece of it. What is coaching? Coaching is not some kind of fancy framework or whatever. I have those too, but it's being able to listen well. It's being able to say, okay, I have my story. I'll tell you mine. I'll break the ice. Okay. I went through crazy stuff. I failed a lot. It doesn't matter what my LinkedIn says or, this title, that title. I'm just a dude in Brooklyn who's trying his best. That's all. Sometimes it looks like I succeed. Sometimes it looks like I fail miserably. But I'm just a dude. I'm just a human. So let's level. Tell me what you've been through. Tell me the crazy path you've taken. What works for you now? What doesn't work for you now? We're here having a conversation, maybe for 5 minutes, maybe for 3 years when we're working together. Maybe it's a lifetime friendship. But what can I do for you? Whether it's as an expert, as with this title, with this ability to make decisions, how can I help you? What can I do to empower you to do your life's best work, or to help you help others, help you find alignment in your life? That's it. That's really all I can do. I can try my best, and I'm blessed to have had all that experience and all the resources and tools to know how to help people. So
You've
once you
learned by falling.
Exactly. I've learned by falling just on my face over and over, skinning my knees, skinning my elbows. And at a certain point, yeah, you grow thick skin. And yes, you get over yourself, because a lot of this is self inflicted. A lot of the problems and failure are frankly self inflicted. You get on with life, you find a way, you find your path, and you just focus. And that's when magic happens.
Well, what's number 3 and 4 in your book?
Thanks for coming back to that. Number three is dealing with other people. Okay. That's kind of like the sexy coaching stuff. Like, hey, teach me to negotiate or teach me to ace the interview, get the business deal, right? Okay, that's great. I can do that all day. I do that quite a large part of the day. But when you talk about more specific relationships, so how is it that you deal with your husband or wife, right? How do you make sure that they have what they need? Because probably that means you'll have what you need if you provide them with what they need. And how do you teach your kids? Again, I'm not a specialist in childhood education. God knows I've had issues in my marriage, like most other people. I'm open about it. That's the difference. But just as a function of being married for a while, and again hitting your head on all the all the walls to find the soft spot, as a function of being a father, hopefully have decent, hopefully a little better, you learn certain things like how to transmit values, how to have patience, how to read your kids' character. What are they really good at? How to support them in their growth and not keep knocking them down because that's easy. We have our own problems and we sort of like start projecting them on our kids. So how do we not do that? And eventually you kind of go all the way down to my employees, investors, advisors, my boss, whoever, my friends. How do I visualize each of those relationships and how do I manage them and keep adding value? And then with the premise being the more value you add, the more you get back for yourself. And number four is the conversation that each of us has with God or the universe or whatever your um, manner of visualizing spirituality, right? And spirituality by itself can mean a lot of things. Some people say, I meditate, I do yoga, I eat organic. Okay, but you want to be part of something greater. And I'm not talking about kind of like the corporate mindfulness movement. That has its shady side. I'm simply talking about every single person, every single one of us has usually a gaping void. I want to be part of something greater. I want to be part of a community. I want to be part of a group of practitioners. I want to be part of my ethnic group. I want to be part of whatever. Right? We all need to be part of something greater, where we find our little corner of the world. And identity, I discuss this a lot in the book. Identity has many, many layers. So, okay, I'm Russian by nationality, now American, of course, Jewish by religion and through my mother. I have a law degree. I have had all these different experiences and worked in all those industries. So many layers. So you have to, at some point, I guess they coexist, but you do have to, I guess, prioritize. There are times in life where you have to, unfortunately, choose. I'm more this than I am that. Maybe I'm probably a lot more Jewish than I am some kind of like fervent, trained attorney. I don't practice law and I don't intend to. So as you grow older, certain elements of your identity become stronger and you need community. You need your kids to have a community. You need, observance. You need some kind of traditions. People tend to be more conservative with age. You need to find themselves, and whatever you call it, God, how you worship, how you meditate, how you observe is totally subjective. We live in a country that allows us to do our own thing, but all of us seek that. Some people find it in politics, or they think they find it in politics. It's still a gaping void. Others find their own little niches, but the point is all of us need that piece. That actually, in some ways, is the most important. It's the thing that brings all the other pieces together.
Mhm.
You can be an endurance athlete. You can have incredible coaching and mentoring, and run a thriving business. You can be excellent at emotional intelligence and business deals, and good luck if you're all three. Wow, you're doing well. But if you're missing the fourth one, you're gonna feel that void. Maybe you got all the money in the world, you got the 5 acres, the massive house, the Bentley. You're empty inside. What the hell am I? Right. So you need all four. And the image I use is, imagine you have a drone. Right. So what is a drone? A drone is something with four propellers that flies up and down. It can fly very, very high. It can have a 30,000 foot view, and it can also zoom in very close to any part of the landscape. It can accelerate, decelerate, go left, right. But the point is, without all four propellers working in concert, the damn thing will never take off. So you need some kind of central processing unit, some kind of central control system to make sure all four are working. If you don't, something is going to prevent you from flying high and seeing your full landscape. That's the point of this book. If you're really going to be in command of yourself, it doesn't mean like you have to be the head of the army or you have to be the president. There's a reason why it's called commander in chief, not president. It's because you have to have command of yourself. And that by necessity means you take care of your health, you have the right mental models to understand who you are, where you're going, what's happening in the world. You deal with people effectively, and yes, you have some relationship with God or the universe where you're having a two-way conversation for each of those pieces. And that's how this book came about in a very long and long-winded way.
No, I love it because, the title's perfect. Be your own commander in chief. I always say things like it comes down to personal responsibility. There's only one person controlling you, and that's you. Only one person can control your emotions, and that's you. Your actions, everything, it's you. And it's all on you. So I love that book title, Be Your Own Commander in Chief. That's beautiful. Yeah. Well, because I think I told you earlier, it's just, I learned all of that. I had all of that, but I was missing the spirituality. I was running from it. I refused. I wouldn't. And my life was just, I was an out of control drone. But as soon as I picked up the spirituality and went, I'm not alone in the world. So there's a thing is so many people do, well, I've got people around me. I've got my family. And then you wonder why are these really rich people committing suicide and things like that? Because they're missing one of those four pillars that hold you up. And so if you're feeling lost and confused, if you're wondering what the world is going on, that your life is going out of haywire, look at those four pillars that Yuri was just talking about. His book is coming out, but health, mind, dealing with other people, and spirituality, one of those things is lacking or completely missing. And that's why you feel off kilter. Find who you are. And as I always say is be unapologetically you. Be the best version of you. And the best version of you builds upon all four pillars.
Yep. The key is, look, everyone is imperfect. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm incredibly flawed as a human being, but that's, there's a certain charm to it, but that's not the point. The point is to not live in la la land, not live on social media, not compare yourself. Every person has a certain endowment of skills, experiences, capabilities. Use what God gave you, or, what the universe gave you, whatever is your version or understanding, and do the best with what you were given. And that's
and think about with you have fallen, career fall. An average human would say, I'm done. I mean, really, I went through law school and I'm done. But what you said was, okay, how do I pick up all these little pieces that I learned? How do I take all the things that I've learned from all my different falling, all the bruises I've built up and all the calluses I've built up, and what can I do with that? See, that's the magic of growing from your failure. That's an intentional growth to find what you failed at, why you failed at, pull the good things out of it and build something new. And that's why I looked at your LinkedIn profile and wanted to meet you and said, you've got to come on the air, because you are, I see, a perfect epitome of what people are like, well, I can't do this because this is me. I can't do that because I'm an immigrant and it's too hard. I mean, whatever it is, you're a Russian, Jewish lawyer.
T-shirt printer.
And a T-shirt printer, father of two. So the thing is you make what you want to make. If you want to wallow on the ground where you fell, great. Do it for 2 seconds of your life. Get your butt back up and find what you can do. Because if Yuri kept falling and just stayed down, we wouldn't have the remarkable things that he does in this world. I'm serious. Look him up. Find his other book, find this book, be your own commander-in-chief as soon as it comes out, because it's life-changing to see someone do things that your average human that you meet on the street says, nope, can't happen. No. Oh no, I did that and that failed, so I'm never going to do that again. Well, think of all the things Yuri just talked about. He has pulled that from every piece of knowledge he's ever gained from every fall.
I also want to say one thing you should never underestimate is the power of a Jewish mother, and that means both my mother. No, I really have to give credit where credit is due.
Oh, I bet.
And it's not just about Jewish mother or a mother. A mother is someone who loves her son or daughter unconditionally. That kind of thing is irreplaceable. That actually is that's the bedrock, because when you're really at the bottom of the well and you're there again, and maybe it's a different well and it's deeper this time, the only thing that can pull you out is the power of a Jewish mother. So one thing is unconditional love. That's just your mother, right? I'm blessed to have a mother who went through absolute hell, whether that's dealing with divorce, whether that's dealing with immigration, dealing with abuse, dealing with male hierarchy. I mean, God knows how many things she had to go through, and nevertheless, she was able to succeed, despite all kinds of, crippling fears and doubts and all of that kind of stuff. And to see that, I'm the son, right? I'm the son of a person who sacrificed so much just to come here and, to raise me, give me the best education possible and all of that kind of thing. So I cannot stop until I make her proud, until I show her, hey, your sacrifice was more than worth it. That's a powerful thing. It's you're the nail and you're the hammer. You're hammering yourself because I'm not doing it. I'm not there yet. On the other hand, I also have to give credit to my wife, who's also a Jewish mother. And that's the other side of the coin. That's the person that, yes, loves you, but also the one that says, like, hey, you idiot, like, snap out of it. You're completely focused on the wrong things. You're an arrogant fool. You're completely wasting your time. You have some kind of entrepreneur's martyrs complex. Like, snap out of it, you moron. And that's harsh. That is very harsh. And God bless my wife.
That's why you need unconditional love. You need someone that loves you so much, they will tell you the truth no matter how much it hurts you.
Oh, yeah.
And we all need that, because I see your analogy of the power of a Jewish mother as in my husband, because he does the whole thing as, that entrepreneurial flying high kite that you like to be.
Yeah.
I think you're going into a storm right here. I mean, so you need someone, that proverbial Jewish mother in your life.
Yep.
Make sure that you aren't making crazy thought processes. Now, you still have to balance it, because sometimes people are anchoring you and they don't love you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure the ones that love you. They're the ones who are guiding.
A guy in synagogue last week said something very funny. He's like, he's also a Jewish guy, and yes, like he's also an entrepreneur for a long time. He's like, look, it says in the Torah, right? It says in the Old Testament, Abraham, listen to your wife. God told Abraham, listen to your wife, Sarah. It doesn't say do what she says, just listen to her. I hope my wife's not listening. I'm going to be in trouble.
Yeah, you are. But what's so amazing is that's all about, building the tribe and knowing the people around you. Like you said, your point 3 was dealing with other people, understanding people who are around you, who loves you, who does have your back, who doesn't have your back, who's got the knife waiting, So you've got to understand the people around you and who you rely on, so that hey, when I'm listening, that's the one I should probably really consider that thought process. And it's back to the 4 pillars. To become a stronger human, you have to learn from your mistakes. You have to grow yourself health-wise, mind-wise, people surrounding you with the right people, and finding some sort of a spirituality. And I don't care if you sit under a tree, but you need to be part of something bigger than you, so that when things fall apart, you don't think you're alone in it. And that's where we all fall apart, when we think we're completely alone and no one understands. And that's why we say spirituality, because when you're part of something bigger, someone else understands.
You bet. Look, and the interesting thing is, again, why the last piece is so important. If you look at pretty practically all self-help, it's just saying you're the best, you're wonderful, you're awesome. Now you're very healthy and you've got the right mental models and you're great with other people. It's all about me, right? I'm working on myself. I'm chiseling away my body and my mind, and yeah, but no man is a mountain, and no person can survive without community and a sense of I'm part of something greater. It just doesn't exist. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go if you lose your billions? Or I mean, I don't have billions to lose, but okay, or you lose your whatever. You have it now, you think you're riding high, but tomorrow, you can have a reversal of fortune. And even the greatest and most powerful person on earth, supposedly the commander in chief and the president, one person, is still not able to control what comes his or her way, right? I mean, it could be a pandemic, could be, could be war, could be any number of different things that are just way above
His pay
anyone's,
grade.
yeah, above anyone's ability to even understand how and why,
Well,
even with the best strategist. Yeah.
well, my thing is when I was, I've had major surgeries, and one of them for sure, I remember not knowing if I was going to wake up from that one. And my last thought before they put me out wasn't, oh, help me, myself, and I. I hope I get out, me, myself, and it was, God, please bring me back out of this.
Yep.
Please, please, my children need me. And so this is from someone who was saying, I don't want any religion in my life. I'm done with it. I'm running away. When they told me I was dying, the atheist in me found God real fast. It was like, please, just if you're listening, if you're really out there, listen, help me. And I see that happen very often. I mean, I've met a lot of nurses and hospice nurses and things like that, and they say it doesn't matter how strong a person is. At the end, they all say, "Someone else help me," and they're looking up. And so whatever it is, it's more than us. It's more than inside of us. It's around us.
Yep.
And so, yeah, it's huge. And I was so glad you brought that up when you told me about the book, because it's a difficult thing to bring up around entrepreneurs, business people, and owners and things like that. They do, you keep that stuff out of here. It's like, but if you want to be a rounded company, you need to address something bigger than the company.
That's what it comes down to. You cannot. I mean, I work with this all the time, right? And it's kind of like, yeah, let's write the mission statement. Yeah, the vision. Oh, we're so special. People, in the end, they respond to energy. They respond to care. They respond to, hey, you're doing something for me, connecting me to something greater, right? But if you're not doing it from the right place with the right intent and with the right humility, also, let's not forget that part. Then you're going to lose people, or you're going to have the wrong people. They're there for the wrong incentives, and that's never good for anybody, for the company or the boss.
No. Well, Yuri, I'm just glad to talk to you again. I mean, you're just so
Same here,
much
Michelle.
fun. If I was anywhere near New York, we'd be going out for a drink so I could talk with you just more.
You're welcome anytime. Just
Not now.
anytime. Oh yeah, not
Yeah,
quite
don't wanna
yet.
be that. But that's the thing, is just I really wanted to share a bit of you, because the way you see the world and the way you speak is just, it's powerful and it's articulate. And I love just conversing with you. And that's why I wanted you to come live with me so we can just talk. And I might, snag you another time and say, hey, this is happening. Let's talk about this. And we'll just go on again.
Anytime. I'm thrilled to speak with you. It's really it's very heartening to speak to someone who sees the world in a very similar way and has had experiences to inform that. And it's not just theory; it's very much practice in all parts of life. So I sincerely appreciate it, Michelle.
Oh no, thank you for answering and talking to me and being on my show live. And everyone out there, if you're watching, you're listening, you're catching the replay, please share this, because people need to know more about Yuri. His book's going to come out, and it'll make a really good gift for all your children that you keep thinking, my kid doesn't listen to me. They never listen to me. They listen to other people. Well, they'll listen to Yuri because it's straightforward. And that's the other thing about Yuri. He's very straightforward. You know where he's coming from.
Yep.
There is no hidden agenda. It's who he is. So
Yep.
connect with Yuri Kruman. His book is coming out when?
I think around January 15th.
Around January 15th. It's called
Yep.
Be Your Own Commander-in-Chief. He's got the t-shirt. And if you're really nice, write him. Maybe he'll make more. And
If you want, this does exist already. I'm just going to be shameless. CICmedia.com. Commander-in-Chief Media. CICmedia.com. If you want.
oh, I'll put that in the stuff. CIC?
Yeah. Commander-in-Chief Media.com. Yep.
Oh, and I can't remember how I said your name, and I thought Yuri Kruman.
Your recruiter.
Your recruiter. Yeah, I said his name as your recruiter instead of Yuri Kruman. I thought it was pretty funny. I'm slick like that.
That was great. I love that.
Well, everyone, I hope you connect with Yuri. Go find his book in January. He already has another book out. You can go find that one too. It's under his name, Yuri Kruman. And until then, have a fabulous week. Keep being the best version of you. And remember, work on those 4 pillars. So when his book comes out, you can work even deeper on those 4 pillars. How about that? So have a great day, everyone. This is Michelle Moroz signing out of MentalShift. Reach your full potential. And until next time, be the best version of you.
Thank you very much, Michelle. It's a pleasure.
You're welcome.